Hey everyone, how's it going? Right now it's just me. I don't know. I think Tim having some technical difficulties, so I'm here flying solo right now. It's good to see everybody. I know we're going to jump over. I think there was four P1 monsters that came out today. But good evening, Craig. Good to see you. Yes, happy Tuesday. Will, good to see you. I'm waiting for Tim. Will, I know he'll probably be popping in here, so I don't know. M2 Hat Girl, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. And good to see you all the time, everybody on Twitter and stuff like that. And Jason Golly, hello. Yes, it is Tuesday. Good day. George, good evening to you. And yes, hope all is well. And yes, the whales are definitely coming. Ariel, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, man. But let me, like I said, you got to bear with me. I got to do all the buttons while I'm kind of trying to share my screen, doing all this stuff. But I know let's see here, share screen, entire screen, allow. And I'm gonna pop over here. So I'm gonna jump into those, but San Jose, if that's the San Jose, I think it is, then San Jose, California, that's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big city. But let's check it out. I'm gonna go over to the checks real quick and see that. I know let me obviously I'm not gonna log into my MetaMask. There you go. 375 across the board, and the checks are rolling. So there you go. You got an hour and 24 minutes. You don't need to do fast gas, as they say, right? But you mean jumping into here? Let me just make a double window so I don't have to keep popping back and forth. And then open this up. San Jose, if that's it, I want to take a look. Open and new link. So Monster My City. If it's a US, there it is. It's a US, and yes, looks like a million for the population. So I'm going to click here and see if that is by San Francisco, right? Let me see that, and I'm going to jump over to Google. Let me pop in there, and like I said, it's just me flying solo, so I gotta um, pop all these in here real quick. Google. Um, there we go. And pop this coordinates in here. Let's see. It looks like it. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Wow. I wonder who got that. Good for them. That's San Jose, California. Wow. That's all right by Silicon Valley, everybody, right there. You got it. There's Palo Alto and San Francisco and a little bit of Oakland right up here. So, what a monster. Congrats to whoever revealed that. Good for you. That's an awesome one. San Jose, California. That's what I'm talking about. So let me check out these. You also San Juan. That's another one. Huge. Let me think. Let me see. Make sure. Um, go down here. Puerto Rico, and that is San Juan, Puerto Rico. So those are some monsters coming out there. 418,000 population. And let me click in here and see this. Everybody knows where Puerto Rico is, down there by all the Caribbean islands. And put that in here. Zoom out. Yes, look at that. Nice Puerto Rico right next to the Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, and then yes, there's all those wonderful islands right down there. And up here in the Bahamas, excellent. Great one there, man. Some real awesome monsters coming out today. Not like there hasn't been always, but it's cool to see that one San Jose, California, over a million, and then you got San Juan here is a major, with Puerto Rico and stuff like that. Not sure, not familiar with Deepak, but I'm going to look and open it up here and see. That is Indonesia. Woo! 2 million. 2 million up there like that. So let me see where that is exactly. Put it in here. Copy. And check this out. So 2 million. What a population center there. Right there by Jakarta. So yeah, suburbs of Jakarta. That's awesome. So yeah, down there in another beautiful area, right? So that's excellent. Congrats. There's a lot of right almost on the equator. I'm sure that's beautiful weather. A little warm, I'm sure, but there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And then the last one, did it reveal? Did it pop? There it is. Mosul. Is that the Mosul? Yes, look at that. Iraq, Mosul. If anybody remember, you probably heard that quite a bit a while ago. But yeah, that is another one. Let's check it out real quick. Let me go down to the coordinates and pop those in right here. Oh, I got a space. I want a space. Probably still got a space, but we'll see if it works. And there we go. Mosul. Yes, deep in the heart of Iraq, right there, in there. So there you go. Another one. All four monsters have revealed today. So congrats. Excellent stuff here. I thought I heard Tim pop in, but I guess he didn't. He must have popped back out. I get those little noises. And let me go through really quick the rest. There's some people in here that just popped in. Steve, did you see we will be able to buy crypto directly from MetaMask? I saw something like that, Steve. I know they've been doing all kinds of upgrades with MetaMask and doing all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, all kinds of things that are going on with Etherscan. I was showing some stuff that with tools. Hey, look at that. There you go, man.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? We went through the monsters
working?
already. We got that going.
You did? How'd you do that?
Yeah, it's not that bad. But San Jose was the big U.S. city, over 1 million. And then Jakarta, there was another 2 million. So yeah, it was good stuff, man. But no, I didn't, Steve. Was that just today, Steve? Were they, you can buy it directly. You probably have to use that kind of one in between thing with banking. So, but yeah, that's awesome. That's what it's all about, That's what mass adoption. Need those tools making getting crypto a lot easier. Floor, good evening. Happy Tuesday. Yes, Donna Night Owl. It's love these monsters. I know. It's like you said, we're seeing these P1s, these tier ones coming out every day. And that's cool to see. OpenSea, the floor is rising. You better add a B. That's right. It is we've seen some people buying Bs too, George. A lot of stuff is going on. And looking at my fork, it's just I hear you. I hear that a lot, George. It's what my brother says too, right? But yeah, how you doing, Tim?
I'm well. My computer is not. Something glitched up on me there. So I'm enjoying the show, Ray. I'm glad to be here. But you keep right on going because I got nothing.
All right, right on. Well, yeah, I was already going through. We went through the checks. We did the monsters. We went through the P1s, and now what we were talking about, and that's what I kind of did a kind of presentation on today, because I do sitting on some spaces. And I think it was FOMO in Austin, and they were kind of I don't know if I think it was on the weekend, but I think there's a guy his name was Quiddity, and he brought up the terms of network state, and he was just saying to look at it. So when I hear those type of things, and I don't know fully what they're talking about, and I like to learn. As soon as he said that, I started kind of jumping in there and digging in, and it's really really interesting because. It sounds quite familiar, Tim.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what a network state is. But that's what I wanted to kind of go over with. I'll show you, the link of where you get it. This guy, Balaji, everybody's heard of him. That's the guy that made the $1 million bet with Bitcoin, right? He put out $1 million saying that, well, I think we're around almost 60 days out now, where he said he said 90 days initially. So about a month has went by. And he said about he'll bet $1 million that Bitcoin will be $1 million in less than 60 days. But who knows? Obviously, anybody who holds Bitcoin, any kind of things like that, you hold a lot of Bitcoin, you make those kind of predictions. It's great for the floor to rise with prices. If you're holding thousands of Bitcoin, Tim, it's not going to hurt you. That thing jumping up to 100 grand. So, who knows? I'm not saying that's what he was doing it for either. But this is the gentleman that did it, right?
Did someone take him up on that?
I don't know. I didn't follow.
Do they have to put up $1 million, or do I just say, "Hey, I'll take your
No, he was going to do it. He was going to do it with a stable token, and then they were going to put it in a smart contract. I haven't followed up. I just remember that announcement.
Right,
and
I remember that too.
Yeah, I don't see why anybody, kind of wouldn't. But I don't know. I didn't follow.
Well, if you had to put up $1 million, that might put some, a wrench in the work. I don't have $1 million to put up against his $1 million, so
yes. That's true.
As safe as a bet, I think that might be. I do not think it's going to $1 million, but right. I don't have the $1 million to put up against this $1 million.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
Michael Saylor might go throw that because that guy's now in the black.
Right. But he's also a bit. I mean, either way, that would affect him positively too. Who cares, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if you win.
But if it doesn't go to $1 million, he gets to buy another 5 Bitcoin.
Exactly. But still, again, I mean, we're over $30,000 with Bitcoin. So I mean, it's moving.
Three Bitcoin now.
So there it is. John, is there or will there be an option to buy Monster? Ooh, good question, John. I don't know. Those are things. If you see it on the website, right, and things like that. I mean, I don't know. Those are it's another group. So that's interesting to kind of think about and kind of see. But yeah, I don't know. What I go by whatever the website, and it is fun to speculate. But that could be something. I'm not sure. Steve, it was yesterday. Rand won't have to go through Coinbase. That is awesome. So yeah. So and hi Tim. See,
hi Steve. Good to be here.
But that's awesome. No, that's don't have to go through Coinbase. That's excellent. Another thing, that's what we always joke with FOMO is he was using credit cards with the NFTs on OpenSea.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways to do that. I'm not saying this, you're trying to get around any of that, but you always want some kind of centralized exchange because that's where you're going to on ramp and exit. Exit anytime you make any gains or you want to kind of pull profits. You're obviously going to want a kind of central place where you can put it in your bank. But yeah, that's great news. It's great news for when people can get in here much easier. And you're right. That's what adoption is about, Steve. And happy Taco Tuesday. That's right. Decrypting chaos. Yes, I love it. But yeah, let me jump into the presentation. Like I said, this is called a network state. And maybe some of y'all haven't heard of it, or like I said, I heard it in a space. Shout out to Quiddity. I don't, I see him and he speaks a lot on spaces. It was cool. He was talking about it. It sounded very interesting. And when we start jumping into it, I think you're going to find that it's very, very similar to what maybe some of y'all are familiar with. You just didn't know what it was called. So let me jump over here. And and I'll drop the link in here, but this is, first this was in one sentence, but I want to read this network stake in 1,000 words. And it's just giving you an idea, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. And then I have, like I said, I have a presentation. But here we go. Technology has allowed us to start new companies, new communities, and new currencies. But can we use it to create new cities or even new countries? A key concept is to go cloud first, land last. So, again, obviously we talk about digital, right? Cloud, all of this where we're all playing, right? And then you can go in and get physical land, property, things like that. And starting a community in wherever it is, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, all these spaces are opportunities to create community and get everybody at least understanding at least maybe what this idea is all about, right? So this is just talking about 7 steps. Well, found a startup society. So obviously the community starts first. We always talk about people are the most important asset in the world. Well, the community and that online community is important, and anyone can found one, just like anyone can found a company or cryptocurrency. And the founders' legitimacy comes from whether people opt to follow them or not. And that's what it's all about, right? Do you have a meaningful idea? You want to change something? You got to get people behind what you're doing. So organize it into a group capable of collective action, giving it sufficiently dedicated online community. The next step is to organize it into a network union. Unlike a social network, a network union has a purpose. It coordinates its members for their mutual benefit. And unlike a traditional union, a network union is not set up solely in opposition to a particular corporation. So it can take a variety of different collective actions. Unionization is a key step because it turns on an otherwise ineffective online community into a group of people working together for a common cause. So there you go. Sounds, again, I was telling Tim earlier, it sounds pretty familiar. Build trust offline and crypto economy online. Begin holding in-person meetups in physical, real world places, increasing scale and duration, while simultaneously building an internal economy using cryptocurrency. Crowdfund physical nodes. Once sufficient trust has been built and funds have been accumulated, start crowdfunding apartments, houses, and even towns to bring digital citizens into the physical world with real co-living communities. Digitally connect physical communities. Link these physical nodes together into a network archipelago. And I'm gonna kind of skip that one because I have it in my presentation. That's really cool, man. And when again you start seeing it, it's digital, and then you start seeing it starts getting into the IRL, and it is right on. Conduct an on-chain consensus as the society scales. Run a cryptographically auditable census to demonstrate the growing size of your population, income, and real estate footprint. This is how a startup society proves traction in the face of skepticism. Again, on chain, blockchain, if you can measure all of that, the growth, your activity, and what you're doing, pretty amazing. So another one, and this is amazing, right? This is what you're talking about. This is the kind of the end game here. Gain diplomatic recognition. A startup society with sufficient scale should eventually be able to negotiate for diplomatic recognition from at least one pre-existing government, and from there gradually increasing sovereignty, slowly becoming a true network state. So this could get so big, right, where you will be recognized by something like the United Nations. That's what this whole end goal is. And the beautiful thing, and I'm going to pop up the little presentation I did, that we were, when we do some educational things, I'll throw it up. But that's, kind of way out there, right? Who knows where that, how long something like that takes, but it's definitely possible. Think of treasuries growing where you have so much capital, the actual amount of people in your network. Those are what countries are all made of. It doesn't mean you have to have a physical a place, but in this thing, there's also places. What's cool is it's also dispersed. They have people in California, some people in Puerto Rico, down South America, over in Japan. You have some people in Australia, China, Europe. It doesn't matter. So it's just like I said, it's very interesting. Let me see if I can pull this up here. This is so I didn't forget it. This is the little presentation here, because I just wanted to go into some of the terms, right? We kind of just glossed over that, but I wanted to go in some of the terms actually, right? Because for me it's new, so I'm very interested in what this means. So network state concept. What is all this about, right? So let me go down here. Next one, the social network, right? And all of us, we're all used to that. You're used to social media, all that kind of stuff. But all of that is what? Mark Zuckerberg, that's centralized. He owns that. There is no no social Web3 network yet. Twitter, that's Elon Musk. Maybe he's moving it towards that way. Who knows? But social networks can be seen as a manifestation. Oh, let me hit this here first. As a go ahead, man.
That when you mentioned Zuckerberg, that I think they said if Facebook was a country, it'd be like third on the list with the 2 billion people involved there, and the GDP of it also, helps it rank. So a lot of people look at it like, that's kind of a power that he has, that he can reach out to billions of people in one press of a button.
Yeah, it is.
Message everybody, and then the amount of money that he makes. I forget how much he made just from selling the blue check marks last week, but it was astronomical, millions of dollars.
Right.
Selling a blue check mark.
Exactly.
After, what was it, 3 months ago, they laughed at Elon Musk for doing the blue check marks, and Zuckerberg was like, "Hey, if they're going to pay for check marks, we might as well make them."
Exactly. Well, I mean, you're using that, right? But the other thing, when everybody first came on, they were using all the, obviously, the data. Everybody was giving them all the information, because that's huge too. But yes, why not? But that's what Web 2 is. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea. But now you start moving into this Web 3, and this is what he's talking about, is Now this is a kind of a network state of all kinds of people all around the world, and it could be held together through social network, right? But it's a voluntary association, so which holds that individuals should be free to associate with others based on their own preferences and without interference from the state or other entities. You should be able to do what you feel, as long as it's obviously you're not hurting people and causing harm and stuff. You should be able to do that, right? In the context of what we were just reading with Balaji's writing, social networks have the potential to become powerful organization tools for individuals and communities that shares values, as they allow people to connect and collaborate with others who share their beliefs and goals. By leveraging the power of social networks, you can potentially build decentralized, bottom up networks that challenge the existing power structures and institutions of the state. At the same time, however, it's important to recognize that social networks can also be used to reinforce existing power. So there's a fine line, right? That's what we were just talking about with Mark Zuckerberg or with Elon Musk. Some people don't like the way that Twitter's moving, right? So it is all based off of him. He's the boss. He's the guy in charge. So in some of these other networks, at least it would be more of a kind of a dispersed power, right? And the cool thing, and I'll go further in some of these more of these slides, is that you are free to come and go, right? Nobody's locked down and you have to be in this, right? That's the beauty of all this stuff. You can come and go. Maybe you join a different network state, right? Maybe you have a different, like 3 different network states where we talk about, like with DAOs. You can do this, and it's what's crazy is this is when you start reading this stuff, it's absolutely doable, right? So national
We've also
conscious.
talked
Go ahead, man.
about
Yeah,
before we talked about dual citizenship. You know,
yeah,
we talked about where would we be if we had the choice to go somewhere and get dual citizenship? Where would we go? My son has talked about it too. Wants to travel, and he's like, "Oh, I could become a citizen over here and whatever, and still keep your American citizenship." So it's on that level as well. Not just easy to go. Well, I'm a Facebook person. I'm a Twitter person. You
yeah,
know, and there's Americans and people who come from Europe and whatever, European Americans, African Americans, all that kind of stuff. People have dual citizenships all over. So it's
yeah.
not a foreign concept at all, but just
No,
chiming in for you.
no, love it, man. And that this is what this is talking about, is national consciousness, is that you should be free to choose wherever you want to be, whatever communities you want to be a part of, whatever governance structures that you want to be a part of. You shouldn't be forced to do and participate in centralized top-down state. You shouldn't have that's not how. And again, it's amazing that it seems to kind of be going that way, but now just like in how the world always works, there's always this pendulum swinging back the other way. And this is amazing because, again, technology will allow this to happen, and it won't have to be governed or guided by people. That we're all fallible. We all have problems, right? Every one of us. So again, power corrupts. It really does, absolutely. So that saying is true. So it doesn't matter if it was me. I know what people would say. Oh yeah, me. Me. I know. You get all corrupted as well. But by rallying around a shared national conscience, citizens can create a sense of unity and shared purpose that allows them to work together to achieve common goals and protect their shared interests. The idea of rallying around a shared national conscience as a means of forming a successful voluntary nation is an interesting concept that raises important questions about the nature of governance and community. However, it is up to the individuals and communities to determine whether this approach aligns with their own values and goals. So it's always, and that's why I put down here in this slide, free to come and go as you please. I mean, that's it sounds like some kind of utopia, and hopefully, we get to something like that. That would be great. But again, how we always talk about, we say that changing the world, right? Well, it is difficult doing it alone. But when you can kind of, come along and lock arms and kind of go along and build this stuff with people, together that really want to do this, you can see how this is all possible. You can see it now. And again, seemed a little outrageous, a little wild eye. Yeah, okay, that'll never happen. But it's possible. And that's, again, it's good to have some of this hope and in this world of messed up. So capacity. Did you have anything, Tim? I didn't want to just keep running on, but
I'm listening.
capacity for collective action, right? That's awesome. Is we are going to go and do things that we deem that is best for our community and maybe obviously for the world, environment, anything. The idea that a clear and simple formal structure on the blockchain can provide decentralized, transparent, and auditable tools for decision making and collective action is an interesting concept that could potentially appeal to individuals across the political spectrum, including libertarians, conservatives, and liberals, right? All of those things, you're not going to hit it on the nose with every one of them, but you can incorporate all that type of things. I have nothing wrong with any kind of political party. Obviously, one maybe doesn't I don't align exactly with, but it's a lot of them obviously come from a good heart. They want to do good, but they just come at it from different aspects. But let's just take a libertarian perspective. This approach aligns with the principle of decentralized governance, which holds that decision makers should be left to individuals and communities rather than centralized government institutions, right? So, that's just one. And then conservatives, they want more transparency. That's another thing that you hear, like, with that. And liberals, you hear a lot about equity and fair, right? Being fair across. So you can use all of that kind of stuff and incorporate it right into one, cohesive type idea. Who knows what it looks like. So, like I said, it's cool where you can start getting people to think and work together rather than arguing, right? People need to just get over it, right? You're never going to fully agree. So find the things that you agree with, right? And work on that. So, some of that stuff, it gets a little wild, but that's what's wrong with everything going on today is everybody's so against and they dig into that, and that's where it's at, right?
Well,
But
I'll just, not that everybody doesn't know this, but the mainstream media only covers the fringes. There's a lot more people that would be happy to meet in the middle.
yes,
I think, and I hope to believe that. But they only cover the people who are extremists on those in those parties or those actions. So, if we focused more on the people that want to work together rather than everybody saying, my side is smarter or whatever, everything would be better off.
it would.
And I think that we can do this. I mean, we don't have to get into Dominion voting machines, but if we set up a network where we could trust what comes in,
Mhm.
then we could all get along a whole lot better when we see how many people are in agreement.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's everybody talks about solving problems. Everything that should be like that. Absolutely, voting. You could do all kinds of things. With the driver's license, DMV. I mean, all of this stuff, right? But it's going to take some time. There's a lot of work to do. But the fourth point here is, and we're all used to this, integrated cryptocurrency and blockchain, right? That's what's going to keep it all transparent. That's what's going to have give it a monetary system, right? Where that's what any kind of sovereign nation needs. It needs that. So it's either the military or their capital and the finances. That's what kind of makes countries strong and recognized. Absolutely, right. Um, with integrated cryptocurrency and blockchain, nation states all have official cryptocurrency, which give them some measure of economic control. Unfortunately, some level of out of control inflation. That's another problem. We're kind of seeing that obviously today, right? Citizens of a network state can benefit from having their own recognized and valuable currency with an auditable supply and transparent policies under citizens' control, under the people who are a part of this system, right? Under when we say, hey, let's do an audit, bam, it can be done. We don't need to have anybody's permission. And that's where everything gets backwards. That's what happens with government, this top down stuff. They get so like that we're serving them when it's all flipped and backwards. And I know everybody knows this stuff, but that's the problem. And that's what's got twisted again. And you can't really maintain sovereignty if another country controls your money, right? And again, we make jokes, but the Federal Reserve isn't federal and it doesn't have any reserves. It's not federal. It's not even a country, right? But yet they're the ones that control the money, print the money, make inflation, cause recessions. There you go, right? But in Balaji, who wrote that, the network state, also points out to something beyond currency, a distributed ledger system that is secure, encrypted, globally accessible, and uncensorable, and that can serve as an immutable record of all the data we might expect a state to maintain: the smart contracts, the citizenship, property registries, public national statistics. So again, I know where I'm speaking to the choir. A lot of us obviously know blockchain is going to be doing this, but you got to kind of start unlocking this stuff where, we all been talking. That's why I went started with all that CBDC stuff, right? All this central bank stuff. That is the problem, right? And it's been like that. It's always been centralized. They've always been in control, and now it's having serious problems. Why would we want to go to that and now it controls this, right? Why don't we try to do something different and start building something that could potentially free people, right? Because I know a lot of us, are blessed to live in the U.S. and some of us in other countries as well are free. But again, not as free as you might, think. It's kind of like, what do they do it? Cattle, where they just give them a little more room, Tim, so they can produce a little more. You're still, and that's what I'm saying, as it's closing in a little bit, I think that there's going to be this big, awakening, great thing of everybody kind of start getting into this, right? But this is what I wanted to end on. Is this archipelago of crowdfunded territory. Who when I was reading these things, I was like, wow, that's a mouthful. But it's true. As we go through this and start doing this in the digital world, we know all how important in-person interaction is. Well, and owning physical territory is almost surely an important precursor to diplomatic recognition by pre-existing nation states. But territory doesn't have to be all in one place. Clusters spread out all over the world can physically offer access to the network state to people in many different countries. And that's, like I said, that's crazy. As you see this, and we talk about, what is that, the what do we call that, Tim? The self-generating $1 billion fund, right? Well, right? I'm just saying, with the bees and that treasury, right? It's go ahead.
The sound effects driving by, so I myself muted. But yes,
Quantum, yes.
Quantum
Economic, yeah.
quantum
Circular quantum yes, yeah, I got it. But it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that treasury, right? There's the capital, right? Over a group that has a purpose. Our purpose is help the unbanked, right? And kind of do all this, and that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of, I would think, our main thing. Of course, we talk about Web3 VCs and doing all that kind of stuff like that, but investing in more of people who are similar mind, similar purpose, and like I said, all the kind of people that we've been, I guess, gathering around in the different communities we've been about, right? But that's really interesting, man. You would start literally buying up territories, whether it's in Puerto Rico and U.S., South America, El Salvador, right? Some stuff down there, hanging out with President Bukele. But think about that.
Well, Ray, they were saying pretty soon, and you've probably seen it on the internet, but that there's going to be cruise ships big enough to set sail for months at a time, and all those people on it will be like citizens of that cruise ship, right? So then you could sail around, go wherever you want, living off that ship and all that kind of stuff. And if there's that society that holds enough to sustain themselves, they could be their own, floating nation,
right?
Just like what you're saying. So you don't even have to be attached to the ground, like you're pointing out, but it could be a floating nation.
Sure, I know. But then think about, like I said, of people owning all over, right? Mm-hmm. There is no really any borders. You're connected through digitally, but you have all these people who have done probably very well, right? Because
Right.
you're a part of this idea as is growing and kind of becoming very attractive to people. And then, like you said, you have this treasury and all this stuff where and you brought up Facebook. What is Facebook? It's like 750 billion. It's almost a trillion, right?
People?
No, dollars.
No, dollar. Oh, the value. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying, just saying, think about that, right?
Right.
But as a group of this thing, of this community, you got all these people and doing this. I mean, California, I think, is only like what 50 billion, and they say that state is like one of the largest countries, right?
That's bigger than most countries. Yeah.
It's crazy what you're kind of doing, because countries would recognize. You can see where the diplomacy would start coming
I
in.
think we didn't use that map. I saw a map the other day that like the average country size of there's 190 countries in the world. Let's say the average country size is less than 15 million people.
Right.
America's
Yeah.
huge, just
I-
absolute gigantic. And there's only like the top 5 have, hundreds of millions like that. Everybody else,
Yeah.
10, 15, 25 million people. That's it.
Yep.
So, it doesn't take a lot. Doesn't
No.
take a lot at all.
No. But yeah, just the
Yeah.
collective group and everybody kind of being on the same page. And the other thing, like I said, is if there was a few of them, you got like 7, 8, whatever, different of these groups, you're not stuck. If something, and that's what it's all about. If people are coming and are attracted to what you're doing, you're going to grow. If they're not, right, you're not. You're gonna shrink and you'll become nothing.
Well,
So there's a lot of benefit, right?
let's talk about a little country, El Salvador,
El Salvador.
whose guy is looking like a champ right now.
He is.
Because Bitcoin, toppled 30,000 again, and he's going to look like their savior. And he's cutting deals, making laws that anybody working with or doing anything with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, is going to get discounts and everything. Like, he's going to attract a lot of people that want to live there and work there, and a lot of other smaller countries. Like I said, I don't know the exact number, but I don't think he has 100 million people that live in his country. I mean, it's going to be small again. But those little countries, if they get together and start, acting like network states, just like we're talking about, they become very, very powerful and influential. With their statements. So this is a great leveling the playing field.
And you can see Bitcoin has done a lot of it. I mean, their community is strong. Anybody has big bags of Bitcoin, right? But it's affecting, like you just said, it's now a currency in a country, right? They said no, thank you IMF, no, thank you US dollars, and that is just a cryptocurrency on a block with its own blockchain. And again, imagine if it was this community, because Bitcoin community is those are maximalists and they love that, they're all about it. But that's you can see it, and it's crazy, man. So I'm glad that guy brought it up. Thanks, Quiddity. So I know you know this, those spaces you're on talking about it all the time, but that was pretty cool. And there it is, old Santizi that was on his space in Austin. Yes, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I brought that up before. A couple of people in here. And then George asking me if there's going to be another jury. Maybe we'll have to spark that up in the mornings to look at the monster reveals and see what else is going on.
Good evening, Susan. Good to see you.
Yes.
Yeah, right on. So
good deal. Just like you were saying, right? One piece in there was the network state of real estate and people coming together and doing that. Tomorrow night I'm going to talk about the tokenization of real estate and buying fractions of real estate. I know we talked about that, a couple houses being sold across the country all by one token, but there's a big thing where they're fractionalizing buying real estate, selling tokens of pieces of it, so generating money, just like we had talked in the past about the guys that tried to buy a copy of the Declaration of Independence. They're going to be starting doing that with real estate. So we'll go over that tomorrow night. That'll be cool.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's going to be. And I like my crypto venture. That's right. Network stakes in a power law world. That's right. That is it's kind of it's crazy, right?
Well, pretty soon we go. It's not parallel anymore. It's going to be intertwined.
It is,
You
and
know?
why? It's what you start, off, right? You're
Mhm.
in the cloud, in the network, in the web, and then then you start kind of planting your flags, Tim. You start
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I love it. Cool
Very
stuff.
cool.
Righto.
All right. We'll leave it right there. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. I'll try and be earlier this time and warm up my computer before the start of the show.
There you go.
But yeah, we'll have a good time then. And I'll take it over with tokenized real estate. We'll have some fun with it.
Right on. Sounds good. Thanks everybody.
Very
Give us a
good.
like and share it, and hit it up for us. Thank you.
Good stuff. See you then.
Yep.